For the last of the Moroccan stages in the 16th edition of the Africa Eco Race, a fast, winding and extremely difficult route southwest from Laayoune to Dakhla for the much needed rest day on the Atlantic coast. But before that, 431 kilometres of navigation, firstly over dunes and finishing with vast stretches of Moroccan desert. "68 bikes took the start this morning and no one was expecting the leaders to get completely lost, allowing the less well-known riders to shine for the first time this week. And amongst them, Guillaume Martinez Boronat, the soon-to-be Senegalese rider, was the first in the Rookie Rider by Cherbis category, which was reserved for riders under 35 who had not competed in a rally longer than 8 days. He came in 11th overall today. Hats off to Scott Britnell. The Australian is climbing the rankings of the Motul Extreme Rider category and was the first of the solo riders to cross the line today. He is amongst those who do the race with no assistance and only 2 trunks to their name. He finished 6th overall. What a result. A result indeed, because both he and Martinez finished in front of the most successful Africa Race bike stage winner Paul Anders Olavalseter. The 2-time winner made a wrong turn at kilometre 150 and got completely lost, finishing in an almost unheard of 38th place. Since the 3 leaders have been sticking together like glue, it meant that when one went wrong, they all went wrong. As such, Alessandro Buturi had a pretty unpleasant day. The leader in the GC finished 37th.
The
stage was very, very difficult. We lost a lot of time, more than an hour. There were so many parallel pistes and we didn't choose the right one. But that's racing. Guillaume Bourne left 7th this morning. The Moroccan rider's back feels better, but he's still suffering from pins and needles in his hands. He was 10th today. Yesterday, during the longest stage of the rally, Joan Pedrero rode the last 100 kilometres with a flat front tyre. No puncture today, though, for the Spaniard. Good navigation choices meant he brought his Harley-Davidson home in 8th place. A great day out for this Italian rider. Massimiliano Guerini is from near Florence and the home of Fabrizio Meoni. Arriving today at the now famous 150-kilometre mark, he remembered it being difficult from last year and this time made the right choice. His great memory earned him a 3rd place. Francesco Montanari started back in 21st this morning. He rode at full tilt to achieve his goal of being back on the podium. Aboard his Aprilia, he ate dust all day, overtaking almost everyone and finishing in 2nd. The story of the day is this young rider. It's been a long time since a Belgian has won a stage of the Africa Eco Race. That was rectified today thanks to Nicolas Charlier following his gut at kilometre 150 and deciding not to follow the tracks of the 3 former winners Olavalseter, Cerruti and Buturi. I'm also surprised. Around kilometre 150, I started 4th this morning. The tracks were going more and more to the right. The road book said we had to follow the piles of stones and set for 200. And it was getting closer to 240, so I realised it wasn't right. At the same time, I didn't know what to do. There were people with more experience in front of me. I made my own route and I went left. When I arrived at CP1, I was the first bike, so I saw I'd made the right choice. So really, I opened the whole stage today. A very different look to today's ranking, with Nicolas Charlier taking a well-earned win ahead of Montanari and Guerini. Cerruti was 35th after a shocking day of nav nightmares. In the GC, Cerruti and Buturi are 1 and 2 despite their complicated day. Montanari makes it back to 3rd, and the first Cherbis rookie rider and Motul Extreme is Guillaume Martinez. While the race is underway, a sort of time trial is taking place elsewhere. The race to welcome the caravan to bivouac takes part every day in the middle of the desert. Ballet 1, as I said before, you need to pick up the car if it's not roadworthy. We are responsible for all the promo material. That's the arrival arch, the flags, the sponsors' banners. So when the competitors arrive, the bivouac looks good and is full of promo material.
Lorsque tout le monde arrive et les premiers concurrents arrivent, ils aient un beau bivouac avec une belle promo à franchir.
We are PMA1, the bivouac medical team. It's a health centre where we can see patients, any competitors after the race. We have doctors, nurses, 2 osteopaths and a physio. We have 2 catering trucks with gas, electricity and water. We are autonomous with refrigerated lorries from France that came across in the boat. We drive, we prepare all afternoon and we serve hot food brought from France in the evening. It's always a pleasure to have good food on the Africa race. It's really exceptional. In the car truck SSV category, let's have a look at the MAN truck of Gerrit Zermont. The Dutchman was the first truck across the line today, and 10 years ago he started as a co-pilot, and today he was at the wheel to take 7th place. A terrible day out for Vincent Vroninx. Second in the GC yesterday, the Belgian somersaulted several times in the middle of the stage. Thankfully, more shaken than hurt, the team got out unscathed from the car, which was left a bit battered. It's not easy for the SSVs to compete with the cars and the rolling pistes because the side-by-side vehicles are governed to 130 kilometres an hour. Despite this, the Dutchman Martin van den Broek played a blinder today and finished 5th. Magdalena Zions, whose surname means hare, lived up to her speedy moniker today. She had never driven such a fast stage in a rally raid and she loved it. She's been ill for a few days, but today she felt much better and came in 3rd. Out in front, once again, we find Benoît Fretin, 2nd today. He is here on his holidays in the desert. As the boss of almost 700 employees, he lives life at 100 miles an hour, and his passion for all things motorsports, rally raids in particular, started at a very young age. He leads his race team as he leads his life as an entrepreneur at full speed. During these 2 weeks in Africa every winter, he finds great solace in the wide open spaces. It's much better here than in the office, especially after a stage like today's. I was up to about 170 about 40 times, and for a good few minutes. I don't remember any race where I've ever been able to do that, and I've done a few. The last time he was here, he was driving an SSV, which was a bit of a tight fit for him. He decided he needed more space in the cockpit, hence this time he's behind the wheel of a high-spec Century. Like I always say, it was a bit like fitting King Kong into a matchbox. This is a real race car, well fitted out. We feel safe in it. The driving position is good. It's a great South African car. For the moment, all is going well for the Frenchman. It was yet another great day, no major disasters, and he finished the 431-kilometre stage in 2nd place and stays overall leader. For the first time this rally, victory went to Tomasz Urednicek. The Czech driver has won his first Africa Eco Race stage. He crossed the line in 3:28:03 and brought home these incredible images from on board his Toyota.
Kilometr po cestě, když se rovně přímý směr, je tam Y. 200 metrů přímý směr. Mírně doleva. Ty vole, peřinka. To tam fakt neměli napsaný, jo. To jsou, vole.
In the rankings today, Tomas Rednicek takes his first stage win with Benoît Fretin, second ahead of Magdalene Zając, the Polish driver. Fretin is still in the lead in the GC now with a lead of 41 minutes from Rednicek as Frönix drops to 10th after a bruising day. We find 2 SSVs and a truck in the top 5. In the historic category, after 2 days of mechanicals, first the shock absorber and then the clutch, Sylvie David Boulin had a trouble-free day and finished 3rd. Behind the constant presence of Kurt Dujardin. Other than on the 3rd stage, the Belgian has been in 2nd place throughout and has a total of 94 points. Not only did Eric and Tom Clays win today, but they surpassed themselves by finishing with, wait for it, 0 penalty points. In the rankings, it's a clean sweep for Eric and Tom Clays after a week in Morocco as they take their 5th consecutive win. Sylvie David Boulin makes it onto her first podium in 3rd. Overall, in the historic category, Family Clays still dominate with Kurt Dujardin and Fabrice Morin, they his nearest rivals. The first female team is Hélène Grandjury and Séverine Arnaud in 4th. That's it for today. Tomorrow, for the 9th year in a row, it's rest day for the Africa Eco Race in bivouac at Dakar on the Atlantic coast. A rest for some, for sure, but for others, the chance to reset vehicles for what awaits them on the other side of the border. In the meantime, here are some of today's best images. Bye-bye.